To decide is to select an alternative out of various alternatives. The manager task in the organization involves taking decisions continuously for various tasks. So, decision is a kind of choice of an alternative, and the process which is adopted for reaching to a particular decision is a decision making process. All functions of management, starting from planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling, cannot be performed without decision making. Business decisions cannot be taken unless some systematic procedure is followed. A decision may relate to an end or means or both, meaning thereby, if end is known or targets are aware of, then decision has to be taken on the means to achieve. And if end is also not known, then through systematic and logical process of reasoning and analysis, an end may also need to be developed. Decision making is a process of analyzing various alternatives and to arrive at a desirable action. Decision making is in the form of planning. Like planning, decision making involves choosing a future course of action among the available alternatives. Planning and deciding both involves mental exercise and both have a perpetual existence. Because of this situation, decision making is regarded by many writers as a type of planning.
After studying this module, we shall be able to learn about the concept of group decision making, identify the advantages and disadvantages of group decision making, learn about the principles of decision making, understand the concept of bounded rationality in decision making, learn about the techniques of decision making, nominal group decision making, Delphi technique, appreciate the similarity in Delphi and nominal group decision making technique, understand the differences between Delphi and nominal group decision making technique.
Group decisions provide more information and knowledge due to specialized group or special expertise. Group has a different knowledge, skills, and experience, and therefore it provides wider options for a particular task, more of suggestions, etc. Decisions are also widely acceptable due to high participation and uniformity in case of group decision making. Decisions can be easily implemented and understood because of unanimity, higher cooperation, and coordination amongst the group members. There would be fewer disputes due to wider participation. A group decision reduces the one man control, as in the case of individual decision making. There may be a chance of partiality.
Let us start with the meaning of group decision making. Group decision making is the process whereby individuals collectively make decisions from amongst the various available alternatives. They are so called because they are taken by the board of directors, departmental committees, or by any other group. They are not related to group problems, rather complex and unique. It is observed that decisions taken by group are better than decisions taken by the individuals. The main advantages of group decision making are special expertise, wider options, widely acceptable decisions, different knowledge, experience, and skills, easy implementation of decisions, reduces one man control, and high participation uniformity. The disadvantages of group decision making are time-consuming process. In order to create group decisions practically feasible, groups are to be created, which might take a time to create them. Delay in decision making. Group decision making results in unnecessary delays in making decisions due to variety of opinions from different individuals. Costly process. Group decision may be costlier than the individual decisions. Conflicts. There may be a chance of conflicts due to different nature and personality of individuals in a group. Lack of accountability. Group decisions may result into a lack of accountability among members. Lack of responsibility. No individual might be ready to take the responsibility of the task. Now, let us understand the principles of decision making. These are adequate information. It is necessary to have adequate information to take decisions that might be costly, but it is really important. Limiting factors. Limiting factors that can affect one's decisions, such as technological factors, government, political, economic, etc., should be considered while taking decisions. Maximization of profits. It is important to evaluate each and every alternative not only on the basis of profit maximization but regarding other parameters also. People reaction. Towards any decision, there might be a chance of reaction or resistance, and try to educate people about them. Right timings. If decisions are not implemented on the right time, then they will not give the desired result. So, the right time is very important. Delayed decisions may be harmful for the organizations. Participation. Participation of employees in decision making is an important factor to get it approved unanimously. Employees' ideas, opinions, and suggestions should be incorporated in decisions to make it more fruitful and profit giving. That is, to be more satisfactory in all results.
Rationality in decision making is a very important feature. If decision is oriented towards organizational goals, it is called as organizationally rational. And if it is oriented individually, then it is called as individually rational decision. Bounded rationality is the idea that in decision making, rationality of individuals is limited by the information available, their cognitive limitations, and the finite amount of time in which they have to make a decision. A fully rational decision means that an individual can solve and all the mathematical problems and can perform all computations without any difficulty. But in reality, we see that to take a rational decision is not an easy job due to various limitations. Bounded rationality is using limited information and limited analysis so as to obtain the first acceptable decision rather than the best possible solution. While optimality of solution has been the main concern of decision making theorists, it appears that real life decision makers satisfies under bounded rationality conditions. When we see people making decisions in a flash, it is likely that they are satisfying. The real world is probably more full of satisfiers than optimizers insofar decision making is concerned.
Let us now move on to the models of decision making: economic man model or rational economic man model. According to Adam Smith and other classical economists' model, the manager takes a decision which is rational and gives a best course of action. That is, after evaluating every alternative, he chooses the best one. The main features of this model are: decisions are based on certainty. Rational based decisions are taken. Decision maker is completely rational. Decisions are based on objectives and are not based on emotions. The second model is administrative man model. This is another model of decision making proposed by Herbert Simon, which is based on the principle of bounded rationality, which explains the actual decision making behavior in real life, in case of which it is not possible always to take a rational decision based on uncertainty and several constraints. This is a real life behavior. There are several boundaries to rationality in decision making.
The features of the administrative man model are: administrative man selects the alternative forms of several alternatives which is satisfactory. Alternatives are searched and evaluated and the best alternative is selected. Search for alternative is done on the basis of experience. If an alternative is found successful in past, is selected for present too. This model provides an understanding of environmental and behavioral role in decision making. It is based on real conditions and is flexible.
The principle of bounded rationality explains the actual decision making behavior in real life, in which it is not possible always to take a rational decision due to uncertainty and several constraints. There are several boundaries to rationality in decision making. This is a real life behavior. Let us now learn about the techniques of group decision making. The two techniques of group decision making are nominal group technique and Delphi technique. We shall discuss them in detail. A nominal group decision making technique is a group process involving problem identification. Members of a group list ideas in writing privately, which is followed by solution generation. Then the process starts in which the members are asked to open their ideas publicly, and this process goes on till all the ideas are exhausted publicly and finally the decision is made.
The nominal group technique (NGT) is a group process involving problem identification, solution generation, and decision making. It is a technique in which members of a group list ideas in writing privately, and then the process starts in which the members are asked to open their ideas publicly, and this process goes on till all the ideas are exhausted publicly. There is no clarification at this stage verbally, and also no evaluation is permitted at this stage. Once all proposals are listed publicly, the group engages in a discussion of the listed alternatives, which ends in some form of ranking or rating in order of preference. When we can use the nominal group technique? When vocal members are in a group, when silence thinkers are in a group, when there is a concern about some members who are not participating, ideas are not easily generated in a group, when there are new members in a team, and in case of controversial issues, we can use this group technique.
Advantages of nominal group decision making. One major advantage of nominal group technique is that it avoids two problems caused by group interaction. All those members who are reluctant in giving suggestions and ideas and also feel that they would be criticized, it is a better way out for such people. There are many members who are interested in creating a pleasant climate and are reluctant in creating conflicts. This technique leads to participation of employees and producing large number of ideas. It is regarded as a time-saving technique. The disadvantages of nominal group decision making technique are lack of flexibility because at a time it deals with only one problem, lack of conformity. There has to be a certain amount of certainty on the part of the members of a group. Time is needed to prepare for an activity. Sometimes the process may appear to be too mechanical. Lack of spontaneity.
Nominal group techniques consideration. It is very important for the facilitators to remember always that discussion should not turn into an argument. Rather, the discussion should resort to a clarification of the matter under consideration. There might be differences in opinions during discussion, but then it is not important and there is no need to resolve such differences of opinions also. There has to be a visibility of all the ideas in a discussion. In case of many ideas or its overflow, it is better to post previous ideas pages around the room in order to make it visible to everyone. Brainstorming technique may be used with this tool for other types of suggestions also.
Now, let us know about Delphi technique of decision making. In this technique, suggestions are invited from a panel of experts who are physically separated and unknown to each other. After collecting all suggestions, they are again sent for panel suggestions, and the process of taking and giving suggestion continues till convergence takes place. This helps to improve the quality of decisions.
The Delphi method is a structured communication technique originally developed as a systematic interactive forecasting method which relies on a panel of experts. The experts answer questionnaires in 2 or more rounds. After each round, a facilitator provides an anonymous summary of the experts' forecast from the previous round as well as the reasons they provided for their judgments. Thus, experts are encouraged to revise their earlier answers in light of the replies of the other members of the panel. It is believed that during this process, the range of the answers will decrease and the group will converge towards the correct answer. Finally, the process is stopped after a predefined stopped criteria and the mean or median scores of the final rounds determines the results. Delphi is based on the principle that forecasts from a structured group of individuals are more accurate than those from unstructured groups. A number of Delphi forecasts are conducted using websites that allow the process to be conducted in real time. For instance, the TechCast project uses a panel of 100 experts worldwide to forecast breakthroughs in all the fields of science and technology. Another example is the Horizon project, where educational futurists collaborate online using the Delphi method to come up with the technological advancements to look out for in education for the next few years. The name Delphi derives from the Oracle of Delphi. The authors of the method were not happy with this name because it implies something oracular, something smacking a little of the occult. The Delphi method is based on the assumption that group judgments are more valid than individual judgments. The Delphi method was developed at the beginning of the Cold War to forecast the impact of technology on warfare. In 1944, General Henry H. Arnold ordered the creation of the report for the US Army Air Corps on the future technological capabilities that might be used by the military. Different approaches were tried, but the shortcomings of the traditional forecasting methods, such as theoretical approach, quantitative methods, or trend extrapolation, in areas where precise scientific laws have not been established yet, quickly became apparent. To combat these shortcomings, the Delphi method was developed by Project RAND during 1950-60s by Olf Helmer, Norman Dalkey, and Nicholas Rescher. It has been used ever since, together with various modifications and reformulations such as Thelman-Delphi procedure. Experts were asked to give their opinion on the probability, frequency, and intensity of possible enemy attacks. Other experts could anonymously give feedback. This process was repeated several times until a consensus emerged.
The similarities between Delphi and nominal group technique are: both the techniques can be used in case of groups of different sizes. In both cases, solution of every participant is noted. No single person is involved for the discussion. Members of the group are encouraged to participate in both the techniques. Final results are out at least after one iteration. Ranking of results after every iteration is an important step of both the techniques. The following are the differences in Delphi and nominal group decision making technique. Nominal group technique is used for making decisions as quickly as possible with few hours or maybe less than this. Whereas in Delphi technique, quality is considered over quick responses and questionnaire is used through postal mails for getting responses. Nominal group technique is a face-to-face interactive process, whereas Delphi technique is more like a batch process and offline. In nominal group technique, less number of iterations are used to get the results. Delphi technique may take 2 or 3 iterations to get results, and they may depend upon the goal for which the technique has been adopted. In nominal group technique, large number of opportunities exist in order to understand the opinions and judgments of others, as against Delphi technique, which is anonymous in nature. If required, meetings could be arranged.
Recapitulating what we have been discussed in this module, we can conclude that group decisions are so called because they are taken by more than one person, such as the board of directors, departmental committees, or by any other group. Group decisions provide more information and knowledge due to specialized group or special expertise. A group decision reduces the one man control, as in the case of individual decision making, there may be a chance of partiality. Group decisions making results in unnecessary delays in making decisions due to variety of opinions from different individuals. The principles of decision making are adequate information, limiting factors, maximization of profits, people reaction, right timings, and participation. According to rational economic man model, the manager takes a decision which is rational and gives a best course of action. That is, after evaluating every alternative, he chooses the best one. If we talk about administrative man model, it is based on the principle of bounded rationality, which explains the actual decision making behavior in real life, in case of which it is not possible always to take rational decision based on uncertainty and several constraints. The nominal group technique is a group process involving problem identification, solution generation, and decision making. It is a technique in which members of a group list ideas in writing privately, and then the process starts in which the members are asked to open their ideas publicly, and this process goes on till all the ideas are exhausted publicly. In Delphi Technique, suggestions are invited from a panel of experts who are physically separated and unknown to each other. After collecting all the suggestions, they are again sent for panel suggestions, and the process of taking and giving suggestions continues till the convergence takes place.
Let us summarize what we have learnt in this module. Group decisions are so called because they are taken by the board of directors, departmental committees, or by any other group. The principles of decision making are adequate information, limiting factors, maximization of profits, people reaction, right timings, and participation. In rational economic man model, the manager takes a decision which is rational and gives the best course of action. In administrative man model, bounded rationality explains the actual decision making behavior in real life based on uncertainty and several constraints. Nominal group technique is a group process involving problem identification, solution generation, and decision making. In Delphi technique, suggestions are invited from a panel of experts again and again till convergence takes place. You have also learnt about the similarities and the differences between the two techniques of group decision making.